Good evening, everyone. I am Meghna Patil. I warmly welcome you all to this episode 7 of Med AI Webhour. It's an initiative by Doctors AI in collaboration with MedSynapse. Uh, Med AI Webhour, it's a platform that was launched in January 2025. And since then, we meet every second Thursday of the month to explore intersection of medicine and AI. In each session, we bring together expert speakers to share their insights on how AI is transforming a clinical practice, research, medical, etc. I would like to thank everyone for joining this episode of Med AI Webinar. Tonight, we have two distinguished speakers with us. Dr. Sunil Shroff, sir, who will be speaking about the transformative role of technology in organ transplantation, and Dr. Sanjay, sir, who will guide us how to get started in tech and entrepreneurship for Medicos. Firstly, Dr. Sunil Shroff, sir. He is a consultant urologist and transplant surgeon in Madras Medical Mission Hospital and MGM Healthcare, Chennai. Sir is the president-elect in Telemedicine Society of India. He was also the past president of Indian Society of Organ Transplantation. Dr. Shroff, sir, is an Asia Counselor in International Society of Organ Donation and Procurement and Commonwealth Tribute to Life. Sir is a managing trustee in Mohan Foundation and also editor in Indian Transplant Newsletter and Telehealth Newsletter, and also editorial advisory board in Indian Journal of Transplantation. Dr. Sunil sir received many awards including Jindal Foundation Award in Healthcare 2016, British Medical Association South Asia Award 2015 for establishing cadaver program in India. Sir also received Best Teacher Award 2011 in Dr. MJR Medical University. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Let me just share my screen. Thank you for inviting me to this late evening webinar. Since I'm a urologist and a transplant surgeon, I'm going to speak to you on a topic which is close to my heart, and this is on how technology was an enabler till recently, and with AI, it also has become a predictor, and how it has played a transformative role in organ transplantation. I've already been given such a warm, good introduction. However, no financial disclaimers, or conflict of interest. Before I start, I just want to tell you that I'm a trustee of a non-government organization called Mohan, which is a large NGO. And we work in this field to be able to give gift of life through a life-saving organ. We established ourselves way back in 1997, and this is a slide when the Mohan was established, and this is me almost 28 years back. If you look at the burden of kidney disease today in the world, we're looking at almost 850 million people suffering from kidney disease globally. Some stage, kidney disease divided from stage 1 to stage 5, and not everybody is in stage 5, but some are in stage 1 or 2 also. And the chronic kidney disease affects almost 10% of the world population. That's 850 million people, and ranks from the top non-communicable diseases. When somebody has a kidney failure, the answer is a dialysis, which can be burdensome, which can be emotionally, financially draining, gives you a poor quality of life, and also shortens the lifespan of a person. So kidney transplant offers the best long-term solution to a patient who has kidney failure. The demand for organs generally, this includes other organs also, not only kidney, but heart, lung, liver, pancreas, intestine, and so on, is almost 500,000 in our country. And we do close to about 18,000 organ transplantation, all organs in our country. So the demand is huge, the supply is very less. And this is a huge problem statement. And in any ecosystem, there's a big problem statement and there are smaller problem statements, many. And so this is the biggest problem statement in our field. I just want to tell you this is a tsunami. The reason I brought this video is that In 2004, tsunami killed about 12,500 Indians, but kidney disease every year kills about 200,000 Indians, like a silent tsunami, and nobody even talks about it. So can we bridge this gap between demand and supply? It's going to be extremely difficult. Just to tell you very briefly, I just want to spend 4 or 5 minutes on some of this. Just want to tell you about organ donation a little bit so that you understand the later part of my presentation better. For you to understand organ donation, you must understand that there is a living person who can donate and a person who is dead or a diseased person can donate. A living person can donate 2 kidneys. I mean, the living person can donate 1 kidney because you have 2. So you can keep 1 for yourself. So we always say 1 to spare and 1 to care. Or you can also, donate a part of the liver, half of the liver as well, a living person's donation. After natural death, you can mostly donate tissues like eye, skin, heart valves, bone, cartilage, and so on. But there's a situation called brain death. Usually happens in road traffic accidents and head injuries and bleeding in the brain. And in that situation, you can almost recycle your whole body. All the organs and all the tissues can be donated. And our law accepts brain death. In 1995, it accepted brain death as form of death to help increase organ donation. And most of these patients are on ventilator in ICU. So how to donate organs after death? Either you can use a pledge card called a donor card, or in India you can also pledge on driving license from 2018. But what is important is your conversation with your family when the decision to donate after somebody is dead is very important for the family member to know your kind of desire to donate your organs. Otherwise, it may not happen. So if that happens at home, mostly tissues like eyes or skin can be donated. But if that happens in hospital, especially if it is brain death, all organs and tissues can be donated. As I said, the key is to speak to your family members if you want to be an organ donor. And all it takes is a simple signature on a pledge card to donate your organs. After you donate your organs, you can't store them in forever. There is critical time for each organ called the ischemia time. And for lungs, it is about 6 hours. This cartoon shows about heart. Heart is 6 hours, liver 12 hours, and kidneys is about 24 to 48 hours. The true potential for brain death to save lives, if you look at that, in India, we have 8.4 million people dying every year. 1 to 4% have brain death, which converts to 84,000 to 300 odd thousand brain deaths. But the major killer in our country are road traffic accidents because we have such chaotic roads. And we have 400 deaths in every day, almost 147,000 fatal deaths due to road traffic accident. 67% of these deaths are due to head injury. So potentially we have almost 95,000 brain injuries due to road traffic accidents alone. So to meet this, the gap between demand and supply, we need to critically look at how to improve our disease donation rate in the country. At the moment, we do about 1% of our donations come from 1% of our donations come from road traffic accidents, meaning that out of the 95,000 brain injuries which we get in this country, we convert about 1,000 into actual organ donors. So brain death has truly the power of saving many lives, almost 8 lives, and enhancing numerous lives through tissue donation. So this is the background information about organ donation for you to understand what it is. So as the foundation, as an NGO 28 years back when we came into picture, we came up with our own unique solution for India. And we worked towards awareness of this cause. We worked with the public. We did training of doctors, medical social workers on how to counsel families in the brain death situation. We work with hospitals. We work with government. We work with policies to improve policies of this country. And we use technology as an enabler over the years. We started with creating organ sharing registries. When you have a patient who has an organ failure, they need to register. So we created software for making a waiting list registry for all organs. Then we also have a donor registry, pledge registry for people who wish to donate. And then we have a national organ donation helpline for giving information on organ donation. We also use a lot of apps. We use apps for brain death certification apps, how to optimize the donor, And we run many e-learning courses for transplant professionals. So we've used technology over the last good 28 years to improve the ecosystem. 3 years back, we felt, well, let me tell you the impact of the work which we've done. Almost we have sensitized 250 million people. 62,000 almost healthcare workers have been trained through the foundation. Almost 14,600 lives have been saved and enhanced through tissue donation of our work. And 73,000 lives have benefited, including the families. So 3 years back, we were looking at technology again, and with the advent of AI, we looked at AI. Can the AI be a predictor for transplants? Can it be used to build these predictive models? Because if we look at the socioeconomic impact globally, in 2023 we did about 111,000 kidney transplants. The global cost for saving by doing transplants instead of putting them on dialysis was 2.78 billion pounds. And 2.4% of grafts fail per annum in England, estimated with a loss of about 66 million pounds per year. And if you have a longer lifespan of transplants, then there is more saving and there is improved patient outcomes. So we are looking at the problem of, can we improve the graft survival by doing optimal donor-recipient matching? Be it, with live donors, if you have 2 live donors and 1 recipient, who would be a better match? Decide that. Can we use an algorithm for that? There's something called paired kidney exchange or swap transplants, where you have many donors and you have 1 recipient, and the best donor is matched to the best recipient. I mean, you have many donors and many recipients in a pool, and you match them. And this is called swap transplants, which is a new way of taking care of the waiting list. Almost 15% of transplants in the US are done through kidney swap chains or exchange. So could we use our algorithms in that situation? And also in the disease donor situation, where you get a marginal organ, the organ is not that well, can we use the prediction models using AI? If you look at the current scenario, there has been no significant advancement in predicting long-term graft survival over the last 30 years. What we have is something called kidney donor profile index that can predict graft outcomes, but takes into consideration only 10 donor characteristics. It doesn't take into account any recipient factors, which also plays some role in the eventual outcome of grafts. So this risk calculator called Kidney Donor Profile Index has a limited usage now in the current scenario, because the cohort of patients used was from 2000 to 2007 and 2005 to 2013. And at that time, we were using different immunosuppressive protocols. Immunosuppressions are drugs given to curtail the rejection of a graft. So at that time, we were using cyclosporine. Now we use tacrolimus. So it's from a different era that this index was made. And it cannot identify survival predictions across time, and it relies very heavily on statistical assumptions, and it has very limited discriminative power. And there are also key recipient variables in the long-term graft outcomes, be it hypertension, history of blood transfusion, early acute kidney injury, and so on. So we came up with this project called Organ Predict, use an AI ML model to build a predictive model for transplant outcomes that could achieve better discrimination, accurate predictions, and graft survival analysis. We have collaborating partners from India, MedIndia and One Foundation, which is my NGO. And we have collaborating partners as NHS BT, University of Coventry, Extend AI. And these are collaborating partners for the last 3 years. We got a grant of almost 80,000 pounds from Coventry University for this project. So we retrospectively reviewed all adult live and diseased donor kidney transplant data registered in the UK Transplant Registry and the US Registry. And we developed 2 models, one for live donor and the other for diseased donor transplant outcome. We called it live donor outcome, we called it LTOP, and our DTOP was disease donor outcome predictor. The data source, we use the UNOS data, with the US data was 66,900 patients. And we also use the UK, as I said, transplant registry data, which is almost 13,000 patients. What we did was we split the data sets by random sampling into training and test sets in the ratio of 80:20. The training data set used to teach the model using the training phase, and test data sets contain new data which the model has not seen before, and it was used to evaluate and validate the model and model's performance after training phase. And these are the 29 structure independent variables which we used for our algorithm. Almost 10 donor characteristics, as in kidney donor profile index. We use 5 immunological factors, HLA mismatch, HLA especially, and we use 14 recipient details in our data set. The decision tree which we use was random forest, in which, just to explain to some of you who may not know this, each tree is taken to be an expert, and there are multiple trees. That becomes the forest. And you give the same problem to multiple experts, and they all give their solution. And then the best solution, there's a voting for that, and the majority gets the best kind of solution answer. We also use XGBoost, and in these there are a series of trees learning from each other, and the nth number of the tree will give you the best answer. We use different metrics for evaluation. Almost 4 metrics we use: the concordance index, the dynamic area under the curve, then integrated Bayes score. And these are results from a model. The concordance index was 0.70, whereas with the kidney donor profile index gave a concordance index of only 0.55. The area under the curve was 0.71. Integrated Bayes score was 0.08. And if you see the actual and predicted outcomes for the live transplant patients, if you see the actual survival is in the black line, and what we got is in the red line. Almost both the curves are overlapping over the 9-10 years results. These are various curves for both disease and for life for different registries. We published our algorithm in some high-impact international journals, including the Nephrology Dialysis Transplant Journal of Oxford, which has an impact factor of 6. We also published it in the Artificial Organ Journal in the US, and another 4 journals, again international journals, Renal Failure Journal, and so on. We made various presentations in international forums with the algorithm, and it seems to be, being accepted by many societies, and the European Society of Organ Transplantation has shown keen interest to work with us to use the algorithm. We launched a website about 6 months back called organpredict.ai. It's available free for transplant teams. And this is when you enter the data, it's very friendly. You get a prediction model survival probabilities like this, 1, 2, 3 to 14 years on the probability of graft survival. We also looked at ethical considerations, bias and fairness. We wanted equitable treatment by mitigating biases in training data. We wanted transparency and explainability, maintaining the model transparency for trust and understanding. So we have put everything on the domain, which is open source. There is patient autonomy and consent. We have done that. And we continuously monitor for regular evaluation for accuracy, fairness, and of course, access for all the patients. We do have plans, as if we get more funding, to look at especially the paired kidney exchange program, where there are multiple donors and multiple recipients. We're working then on that as well. So both this for disease donor and for live donor, the model shows significant improvement in its discriminative power. It gives better estimate of graft survival. It is support to clinical decision for patients and doctors, and potentially to be incorporated for kidney allocation schemes. It could be a game changer in the future as we go forward. And I must say, at this stage, the tool does not replace clinical judgment, but augments it with data-driven probabilities and insights. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I look forward to interacting with you if there are any questions and answers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Your talk shed light on understanding of the challenges and innovations of organ transplantation and also inspired us to think about how we as future healthcare professionals can contribute to this life-saving process. Now, proceeding further for our next speaker tonight, Dr. Balasubramaniam Sanjay. Dr. Sanjay is an MBBS graduate who has expanded his expertise beyond clinical practice, holding an MBA in healthcare and hospital management, as well as postgraduate diploma in medical law and ethics. He currently serves as the operation head at Sanjay Scans, where he oversees cutting edge diagnostic services. He is also a valued member of our Doctors AI Advisory Board, contributing to advancements at the intersection of AI and healthcare. And also, he is a founder at MD. Dr. Sanjay will guide us through the essentials of how to bridge medicine with technology and innovations, and also share insights on starting entrepreneurial ventures and inspire us to think creatively about our future roles as healthcare professionals. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Is my screen visible? Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Visible.
Sure. So first of all, thank you for the kind introduction, and I am honored to share the podium with distinguished guests like Dr. Sunil sir. So jumping into the topic for the day. So my topic is getting started in tech and entrepreneurship for medicos. Right? And right, am I getting my slide, or is this changing? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir, it's moving.
Yep, sure. Okay. So as was already told, so I'm Dr. Balasubramaniam Sanjay. So I'm an MBBS graduate, and I am majoring in MBA and in hospital and healthcare management. I've also done my postgraduate diploma in medical law and ethics. So I'm also a board member, advisory board member for Doctors AI, and I also run an online community called EDNK. So now moving into the topic. So who is this talk for? Right, like, so medical students, residents, young specialists, anyone curious about tech and medicals. Just a minute to the a question to the team. I'm getting feedback from participants that has by any chance the live ended?
No, sir, it's live.
It's live. Okay.
Yes.
Right. So this talk is for medical students, residents, postgraduates, so young specialists with who have just finished 3 to 5 years post residency, and anyone curious about tech and medicine, right? So moving on to the next slide. So why should you be learning tech and entrepreneurship? So is it because it is trending? Is it because everyone's talking about it? So I personally believe there is a deeper reason, and there is one particular reason I would like to highlight here. So this is the projected value of the Indian healthcare market, total market value 2025. This is from a very trusted industry source, widely accepted report based on the Government of India Union budget prediction. So as you can see here, the total market size is 53 lakh crores. And out of this, if you go to the core hospital, diagnostics, insurance, so this is around 35 lakh crores. So why am I telling this? So you become an MBBS graduate. If you're a student watching this, you become an MBBS graduate. You earn, like, say, around 10 lakhs a year, or you're a young specialist, you earn like 12, 24 lakhs per year. So this comes around somewhere around, as you can see, as 0.00018%. So what am I actually trying to make a point here is that a doctor doesn't even make 1%. If you can pause simply, not even 1% of the market they serve. So where does this value go? Into the very sectors, into the very sectors that we're talking about today, tech and entrepreneurship in the healthcare market. So that is why even just awareness is important. So what are we learning today? So I'll be sharing my 11-step framework. So each step includes actionable examples. So these aren't just steps. You can use them as guiding beliefs to navigate and get started in tech and healthcare and also entrepreneurship as a medical. So step one, identify why you want to do tech and entrepreneurship here. So what can this look like? I want to make a bit more money by adding tech or entrepreneurial tools to run my clinic more efficiently. I want to use tech to create something to help patients better. I want to simply explore something new like AI in healthcare or a combination of all this. So why does this help in today's digital world where there's an ocean of information and a vast number of paths to get started? This helps anchor your efforts and helps filter what's relevant to you. So going on to the next step, right? So what value do I gain out of getting started in tech and entrepreneurship? So that is what you'll next have to define. So what does this look like? This can look like, do I want roles for additional income opportunities? Like, do I want to become a consultant to a health tech company, like a clinical consultant? Or do I want, as a student, do I want internships in health tech startups? Do I want to gain AI in healthcare research papers? Do I want to publish them? Do I want to build a product to help patients and also make money, or a combination of all? It can be anything. So why does this step help? Again, it further helps delineate where you want to get started. So then the next step comes, like, knowledge and where should you gain it. So what does this mean? So after demarcating, after completing step one and step two, you got to gain relevant knowledge. So primarily, what do I mean by knowledge here is you need to know how that role or path, people in the path that you have chosen thinks. Like, for example, learn our clinical AI consultant thinks. So understand the common words used in the field. Like, for example, definition of a prompt in AI in healthcare, or if it is entrepreneurship, what is the total market value? What does terms like that mean? So how does this or how do you do this? So you follow thought leaders. For example, you listen to AI in healthcare podcasts, you read newsletters. A few examples I can state is Dr. AI newsletter, then we have Med Capsule. So you watch webinars, you watch YouTube talks, you watch webinars like this, then you read relevant books. Right. And then step four. So you decide your foundational space. So what does this mean? Decide whether you want to be online or offline, in the digital or in the physical space. Like, for example, online speaker versus in-person speaker. You'll be going to hospitals or institutes and talking, and then choose your region. Do you want to do it in your own region, like, say it's southern states here, or do you want to do it global? So this helps set direction. This step will be helpful in later steps. So am I audible? I'm sorry to keep interrupting. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, sir.
So step 5 is to create. What does this mean? So this means start sharing your knowledge. What does this look like? So after a podcast or book, say you have demarcated 11 points from it, for example. So you share in a conference online or in social media. So how does this help? This help kinds of form a public identity in the space you want to enter. Like, you do know this, you're talking about this. And then step 6, practice, process, and routine. So what does this look like? So you repeat step 3 and 5. That is to say, you learn, create, practice, take feedback, and then refine. So set a routine, like, for 11 minutes per day, I'll be doing this much of content to cover, or 11 days straight, I'll be covering this every 11 minutes. I'll be learning 11 new definitions in that industry that I want to, in the path that I want to follow. So why does this help? This helps prevent burnout. It prioritizes your main work and also the role you are exploring. So, and it also creates mastery through repetition. Right. So step 7, what does this mean? This means, like, you connect with people relevant to the path you have chosen. So how to do this? Based on step 4, like which region or mode. So is it global or domestic? Is it online or in person? Like, you can connect online, for example, via LinkedIn, or in person, like you want to connect with an engineer, you want to connect with a senior professional, senior doctor, etc. Right. So step 8 is to collaborate. So this means that after connecting, you try collaborating to host events, something to bring shared value. So you and a example, you and a peer AI health collaborate to host a webinar or workshop. That is how this looks like. And then step 9 is guidance, mentorship, and higher learning. So what does this mean? So this means that you find mentors, or you pursue deeper knowledge, you pursue courses or degrees like MBA. There are fellowships in digital health. We also have certificate courses from Doctors AI. So for example, a famous mentor that everybody must be aware of in this case. So Dr. Avnish Kare, or join Dr. AI courses. You can again pursue MBA in healthcare online. So why does this help? This helps give you leverage or qualification for the role you want, and also broader knowledge on the path you're pursuing. Right. So step 10 is define your ambition. What does this mean? Define where you want to reach in your path in the region or more. Like, say you want to become the best online educator in AI and healthcare in India, or you want to patent a product and in your region, or you want to start a health tech business and serve in your region. Right. And step 11 is communities. Right. So what does this mean? So you join and contribute to communities. Like, for example, there are communities like Doctors AI. Then you have student communities like SMAK, then games. Right. And why does this help? So this helps because, example, you get to network, like you in network and you find opportunities or speaking roles or internship, etc. And you get to share back your expertise and create true impact, like societal impact also. So to summarize, so identify why you want to do tech or entrepreneurship, right? Like, so what value do I gain out of getting started? Define that. And then what knowledge and where you should gain it. Try gaining the knowledge, decide your foundational space, then create, practice, process, routine, connect, collaborate, get guidance, get mentorship, pursue higher learning, define your ambition, and then join communities. So in conclusion, I would just like to once more, bring to your notice the sixth slide. Doctors earn less than 1% of the year, and there is no specific data on why this happens. But my belief is that 89% of the time, I would say, this happens because we rarely, as doctors or doctors in the making, as students, you step out and you see the big picture. So it is not that people shouldn't generate value or earn money in healthcare. It is just that there is a huge imbalance in the value generated, and this imbalance at times is at the cost of patient lives, doctor fatigue, etc. Whatever we are seeing today. So next time you come across a medical device, technology, or a marketing campaign, ask yourselves, how can you help reach from that 1% to 11%, and in the process save more lives maybe. So what you can do for it, for who better to lead healthcare than doctors. So that is all from my end. I hope it was audible without any issues. Thank you for taking the time to listen so far.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights into how we as medicos can broaden our horizons, think out of box, and contribute to healthcare in new and modifiable, meaningful ways. Your real life experiences, those tips and words of encouragement, they have motivated us to explore beyond conventional medical practice and to consider how technology and entrepreneurship can amplify our impact. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So we can now go for question and answer session. We have some questions for Dr. Sunil, sir, from audience. I think, sir.
Now, can you hear me now? Better?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
We have few questions. Like, first one, what are the biggest challenges in integrating digital tools into transplant workflows, particularly in resource limited settings?
I think the challenge is very uniform throughout the world. And the number one challenge which I would consider is the digital illiteracy which exists so deeply among the medical professionals. They don't just really understand how technology can be a great tool. I don't think that the penetration of technology among the older generation is very much. I don't think so. There's more than 1% of the older generation which actually plays with technology. I'm one of the few who has been using technology for a long time. Even during the COVID, when we were trying to educate the doctors on how to use telehealth, telemedicine, we were running courses almost every day online for almost 1 year. And we saw the digital kind of illiteracy they had. But COVID, although it caused a lot of harm, but that pandemic also raised awareness on telehealth and technology. So after COVID, there has been a little bit more better movement in this area, and some seriousness has crept into our mindset, especially the healthcare. And Government of India is also very keen. It wants to make all the primary health centers, almost 130,000 into wellness centers. So the Government of India also is very keen with Ayushman Bharat, and they have also brought in a lot of technology in place. I think the key here is educating our graduates MBBS graduates into technology. There's no curriculum at the moment available for this. When we were having COVID, we did try to engage the National Medical Commission into having technology as part of the guidelines. And in fact, somewhere in the NMC now it says that doctors should be using computers and EMR and so on. So we made some progress. I think it will take time. And the biggest challenge, again, as I said, in two words, will be digital illiteracy.
Yes, sir. One more we have that how are predictive analytics currently being applied to improve donor recipient matching and post-transplant outcomes?
So my whole presentation was about this. Maybe you haven't. I would suggest that you go back to my presentation and look at it. The models for predictions have not been very much. The model which existed was called Donor Profile Risk Index, and that's a very old model based on some old cohort, data which we had, and the predictive kind of prediction with the KDPI is very less. So when we have used AI, we've seen that there's a huge difference in the prediction among the test data and the training data and test data. We have put it out in the public domain to see how doctors use it and to see how they feel about the outcomes. But the model which you've done, I think, also has been published in almost 6 international journals, which with a lot of validation, with a lot of peer review. So I think this could be a game changer as time goes, but it'll take time for things to sink in.
Sir, any ethical concerns when relying on these algorithms for organ allocation decisions?
So yes, of course, this is a clinical tool for decision making. It does not replace the doctor. I've said that in my last slide as well, that at the moment it's just a decision tool maker, which you can use, which if you feel comfortable with it. And, so those ethical concerns are always going to be there till it is accepted and till it is shown to be better than the current model. So yes, that will always be there. And as far as, the ethics of equity is concerned, by putting it on the public domain, we hope that it is available to everyone. If it's really good, then it should be used for every patient. And that's why I put it on the public domain for, our Indian doctors to use it. And some of the nephrologists and transplant clinicians have shown interest of using the algorithm, not only in India, but other parts of the world as well.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. I hope I have answered some of these questions adequately.
Yes, sir. Okay. So from your experience, like what are the most common misconceptions like clinicians have while entering healthcare startup space?
Yeah, so in my experience, what I have found is that there is this very common misconception that you need to know all of medicine, like all of healthcare, and you also need to know all of technology to get into that space. This is not true. You, in essence, need to know only the intersection, and that is far lesser than what you actually feel it is. So this is my, summarized version of the most common misconception present.
Okay, but next one we have like any practical steps can young doctors take to transition from clinical roles to health tech innovation or entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so I was actually seeing this, and there was one slide that I kind of missed to share. I wanted to say, so can I just reshare my last slide? That should answer this question, right? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
So the simplest way is you start exploring apart from the framework that I gave, and what is right now happening in Doctors AI is that there is a summit November 15. You can just check the dates here. I'm not able to, just a minute. Let me see if I'm able to zoom. This is just a quickly snapped screenshot. You can just take a screenshot of this, and there are QR codes here. You have the early bird offer going on. You also have the, link to join the WhatsApp group. So this summit is a good place to start exploring. This is the first time it's happening in India. But yeah, there's one keyword: explore. This is all I would say. So again, I'm just pausing for a few seconds. Anybody wants to take a screenshot? So let it be that. And on to the next question.
What trends in digital health should young doctors be paying attention right now?
Yeah, I think this would have been evident throughout, and it goes with our collaboration, everything. Everyone is talking about whether you are just entering or you are completing, you, you're a very senior professional in the field. So everybody is paying attention to AI in healthcare. So artificial intelligence in healthcare is the digital health trend that you should be paying attention to, right?
Okay, sir. That's all questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I also want to mention one more thing.
Yes, sir.
The telehealth guidelines issued by the National Medical Commission, at the moment, does allow the use of AI as a diagnostic tool, but not as a decision maker in India. So we must be careful with that it is just a tool which doctors can use to help them in coming to a diagnosis, but it cannot be used as a replacement for treatment, for management. Like sometimes I've seen some of these tools which are being used for, especially for diabetic retinopathy, giving, classifying the image by using AI and reading the images and saying there is a diabetic retinopathy without actually an ophthalmologist looking at the images and signing on to it. So some of the companies are doing that. So we as clinicians should be a little careful on to what extent we use AI and where do we stop. As far as our practice is concerned, by the National Medical Commission, it cannot be used as a replacement of a doctor.
Definitely. So I think that is one thing which should be added on. It is only to support the doctor, not yet to do the doctor's work. And I believe it is personally best used in the administration tasks, whatever is repetitive.
Absolutely. I agree.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. As Sanjay sir mentioned, like we have a Doctors AI, a global summit in Bangalore on 14th and 15th November. So early bird registrations are open till 15 July for it. Please do register, like if you're interested. It's a nice summit that will be happening. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great weekend, all of you.
Thank you. Thank you to the team. Thank you, Sunil sir. Honored to be sharing the podium with you.
Look forward to interacting with you perhaps in Bangalore.
Sure, sir. Sure.
I'm there.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
It was an insightful discussion, and thank you so much for joining to all our audiences on the MedSynapse platform as well. And our esteemed speakers today, Meghna, thank you for such a lovely hosting throughout the session. And it was a pleasure discussing these important topics on AI and health entrepreneurship. So thank you so much, everybody, and a very good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you once again.